Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we are going to make an effect which is seen in Marvel's new trailer, which is Eternals. And as you have seen this, there is a shot in that trailer in which the bus is converted into flower petals. So we are going to make that effect. So it's a simple effect. If you know some particle and other basic stuff, you can easily make that stuff. So let's get started. So let me just create one model node which is bus, and let me just call another file node and just read my bus geometry. It's a simple mesh and it's like this. I have not animated this, it's only in that position. You can animate this from coming from this direction and going some rotational values also. And let me just add some null. Okay, next we need to add a character which is going to stop, or you can use any object. So let me just add another geometry node. Just name this character, and I have this alembic mesh. So let me just import this mesh. Okay, now you can see here it's a simple character and it's basically like stopping this, something like this. And it's a simple animation. You can find it on mixamo.com. Just search for block animation, you will find something like this. Okay, so for this I think we need to just add a simple null object. This is for just our reference purpose. Okay, now we have two objects which we are going to make. So first we need to generate something to grow from this area, which is stopping this area, this part. You can easily grow that effect. Basically in that movie trailer shot, the shot or the flowers petals start from this part and keeps on growing up to the whole bus. So we can grow that easily. First we need to create some growing animation in this. So we can use one of the pyro node, which you can use it. Okay, so if you go here in this pyro section or sparse section, there is this node called spreading fire. You can use this. We're not going to use spreading fire, but we are going to use some solver nodes in there. It has some growing nodes which we can use in our scene. So if you go here, just click this object and just press enter. It will create bunch of different nodes, and we will delete all the DOP operator and pyro import operators. We only go for that purpose. Okay, and now you can see it is calculating some values. Just I am at the frame number 29. So now you can see it's already spreading this fire, but we don't want that, so we need to delete some values. So you can delete these two nodes. We don't need that. We don't need this node. And in here you can see bus source and bus. We don't need this one, no need this one, we need this one. Okay, so this is our solver node which is going to create this growing kind of animation. So if you come to this simulation spread and just enable its visualize total burn, you can actually see it's spreading like this. Okay, and we are going to use this in our advantage. So as you can see, there is this hot object which is the source for the growing part. We are going to place at this area, which is where it is its hand. So we just select this hot object. You can choose any geometry, you can use sphere or any other particle or anything. You're just creating group and then solving for that. So for that, let me just put this somewhere in this region and make sure it intersects with your surface, otherwise it doesn't starts spreading. Okay, like make sure it has some values in here, and we are going to simulate this from 17th frame, which is the stopping frame in which this character's animation starts to like pushing like this. So in simulation spread, just use 17th frame here. You will get your animation from here. Okay, and you can see it's going from here. It's not quite fast. In that shot, it's actually growing very fast. It's like almost instantaneously, almost in couple of frames it grows from this to whole geometry. So we can do that. We can increase some values here. So let me just adjust some settings here, and come to this section, which is simulation section, and adjust some value, just like this diffuse rate. Just increase this to 10 and this to I think 50, and in simulation just increase this substep to like 2. It will calculate much more faster. See, it's like growing, and if you want like more faster growing, like spreading pattern, you can increase this substep or you can increase that rate. Okay. So okay, let me just make here 90 frame, and make sure to save your file because sometime it crashes. So let's just save this file, okay, so that we both are in safe hand. And when you save this, it actually loses its location, so just recall these values, and again in character, okay, now you can see it's like spreading. Okay, you can increase or decrease this value. It depends upon how you want to look. If you want that kind of effect, you can increase rate as fast, or you can just speed this up, this only spreading part, just in post or in here also. So let me just go for other settings which we want to use. We are actually going to use this attribute, which is total burn attribute. If you look here in geometry spreadsheet, you can find this total burn, this attribute, and there is one more which is burn attribute, this one. We are going to use those two attributes because we don't want every part of this mesh or its points, because in our scenario we want to spread from this area to grow over the bus, then deleting that part. Okay, so what we can do, we can just use delete operator, and in here just change this to points, and by expression and just use @total burn. Okay, now you can see it's like deleting that area. Okay, and we want like opposite of this, so we can just choose delete non-selected. So now you can see it's like spreading this. Or you want to like change its pattern or some noise, you can go here and it has some settings which you can adjust. Like in here he has like noise, element size and all that things. You can easily adjust this. If you want more complex pattern, you can just change this, or you have different. But in my case I am using like simple scenarios. Okay, now we have this total burn attribute. Next we need to like may delete one more time. Just use delete operator and just connect here, and we are going to again delete points based on expression, and again you need to use burn attribute which is greater than 0.1. Okay, now you can see it's like deleting values. Or if I connect this to here, you can see it's like making this kind of pattern, and we are going to using only this. So these particles will be source for our pop network, these ones. And let me just save this and add this null object. This is our pop source, and this value, this growing pattern, we are going to use to transfer some color attributes to glow on that A part. So you can use outburn, or you can use any other terms. So let me save this and come back, and let me just add pop network and just connect this and go here. In here again use this points, and in birth I am going to use impulse, and in my scenario I have used higher numbers. So for the sake of tutorial, let me just put here 5000. Life, we don't want that much higher values, we can use 4. And in attributes, inherit velocity is 1 is enough, and we can add to inherited, and in my case I used like 0.1, 0.1 and 0.1. So it will like add some variations to the velocities of particles. Okay, now if we see here, you can see like these particles are like coming. Now we are going to like add some gravity and all that. These are particles are like very smoothly moving towards the ground, because these are like flower petals, and flower petals are like not very heavy. They move very slowly and like in slow motion. So for that, let me just add a couple of values here. So let me just use pop force. Just put here pop force, and in my case I have used like 10 and 4 value, and pulse length I think I used 0.5. So if you look here, like something like this, see something like this. And I have used like little bit of upward forces, like up, so that it doesn't fall easily. It have some values and then it will fall. And now let me just add here this gravity, so that they come towards this area. Now you can see they are going to fall like this. See, something like this. Next we need some drag force to stop this. So let me just add some pop drag here, and in my scenario I used like 2 value, And in gravity I think I used little lower values, like I think -5. In pop time scale I think I used I think 2. We need to slow down this movement, see, like this. And we need one more like sub steps, so let me just go for 2 and 2, and let me just add one more pop force for like lower frequency noises. So let me just add like 2 and I think 0.1, and pulse length is 0.5. So it will add some little more variations to these motions. And one more thing is that our particle is like keeps on growing. If I look here, they does not die out. See, if I look here, they does not die out. We need to like delete these, otherwise they will keeps on growing and it will affect our values. So if I put here something like this, delete non-selected. Now if we see, they have something like this. I think I used this one. You can choose anyone whichever you want. Some have like higher values, some has lower values. So just go for here. Now you can see it's like falling towards the ground. And just add ground here, collision ground, so that it doesn't fall. And in here, now you can see it's like falling like this. See, like this. If it's moving too much too fast, you can decrease its values, or if I come to pop solver, I think I have to lower this value. So because they are moving very slowly, so now you can see. See, now they are like moving very slowly, like you can see. And if you want to like make much more dispersed, you can always increase this value. Okay, and just add some upper value also. Something like this. Now we need to like it's almost there. You can tweak these values. These are like basic settings. And next we are going to use our pop object. You can cache this out so that it's only or it's move fast. Okay, this will be our like particle, which we are going to change this. We are not going to use like this, and we are going to add some values here, some terms, so that we can control this. So let me just add null object, and this is our particle. Out. Okay, now next what we need to do, we need to put some flower petals at these positions, which are like these particles. So for that, what we are going to use, we are going to use instance node, which is like if you right click and search for instance, you can use this instance node, and it can actually help you to create particles. So go inside and just delete this node and just use object merge and just call these particles inside this. So if I go to bus and particle out and just use null object, we are not going to do, we are going to only import these values. And in here in instance, if you go to this instance, you can find this instance object, no parameter. Just make a simple petal, just use grid. You can model this as complex as you can, or you can use very simple technique. I think in my case maybe something like this. I think 4 is enough for this. Okay, in here let me just select some points and adjust this, like these points, just move this to like this, and select these, just scale to like this, and for these points we just scale something like this. You can choose or however you want, you can do this. Okay, so it's just a simple example, something like this. You can like smooth it out or anything, whatever you want, just smooth this. And you can like increase its parameter, or you can subdivide also if you want, like to make smoother, something like this. Okay, and just use transform node, one transform node, and this is be using as for controlling the size of the instance, and just use null, just put here this is our out, and in instance in this section just select that object which is our this grid, which is this one. This is our petal, and you can put here color also. In my scenario I used a simple color, then you can add some parameters. Okay, so just disable this, and in instance enable this, and in instance you can just call this, and just here point instancing, just use fast point instancing. Be careful with this, otherwise if your particle is too high it will be like this. See, now they have, every particle has this petals, but now you can see they are like oriented in almost a certain way. If you want to randomize this orientation, to randomize this you need to go to the original particle which is in the bus here, and in here you need to add some attribute. first attribute you need to add to like randomize this angle or rotation. You need to add an orient property or orient attribute. So just use attribute randomize. Okay, just put here, and we need to use orient, ORIENT, and it's a 4-dimension attribute which is quaternion. So you just put 4, and I think just use 10 10 10, and if you go here outside, you can find these are like randomly oriented. Okay, now second we need to like scale these or randomize the scaling of each petals. So we can do that also. Just go to again bus source and add attribute randomize for scale node. Okay, just come here and use p-scale. It's a 1-dimension value, and I think 0.01 to 0.04 I think will be enough. If you feel like it's not like that big, you can always adjust. Now you can see it's petals. Okay, so this is our instance which is flower petals. You can simulate this for cache out. Then next we need to go for this bus section, and we need to like delete this bus based on that attributes. So first we need to do is import that attribute which we are going to use for deleting these parameters. So for that, let me just use again object merge, and let me just call that attribute which is our out burn, or this one. So this is our attribute which we are going to use to delete the bus. Now to delete this, we need to convert this to mesh somehow. So we can use that VDB from particles. See this node, this is used for converting your mesh to this, and it's not coming, so just put 1 here. You can lower this value, but be careful with this value because it's a very time consuming node, or it's very intense node. So depending upon your detail, you can always go for up to your liking. Okay, so in my case I think I have gone below 0.01. Okay, and for the sake of this, let me just use 0.01, and again I am using very lower values, so it will be a little bit low quality. Then we need to like VDB reshape this, so just introduce some offset values. Okay, so I think 0.5 will be enough. Then convert this to mesh. Okay, now you can see it has some values, and you can use this adaptivity node, and it will reduce some polygons. Now we have this mesh which we are going to use to cut this geometry. So let me just use boolean and just select this, and it will take time, so be patient. Okay, now you can see it's almost deleting, or otherwise you can choose this as a surface, so it will properly reveal this. See, now it's like eating away your bus, so you can use null. This is our out. Okay, so this is our like out of the bus, and if you look here combined, you can see we have like this flower petals and this, and in between these two particles we are going to use color attribute from our these points, or you can use our pop source to copy this. So let me just come here, and in the bus source let me just disable this visualizer, so that we can see what kind of color we are going to use. Okay, in here if I go here and put point warp, this one, and if I use this total burn attribute inside here, like if I use bind and just use total burn and just use RAM, and put this in color attribute. See, now you can see, and in this ramp you can adjust its value, how it's like coming. Okay, you can like adjust this value, or we can use burn attribute. It has some noise built in, so we can use burn attribute. See, like this. This is our like attribute which we are going to use. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to transfer this color value to our bus. So if I use color transfer attribute or attribute transfer attribute node, this one, we need to select this and select this, see, like something like this, and we need to do transfer only color. See, that's transferring, and in condition here just lower this distance threshold and just add some values here, so it will add these color attributes, and make sure this bus has like color attribute, otherwise it will not work properly. See, now you can see it has like color attribute. You can blur this value, or if you want like high quality, you need to increase this mesh so that it shows proper colors. So you can just subdivide this bus a little bit time, and in my case I use this one, and I think I use depth 2 or maybe 3. Be careful with this number, it will increase very drastically. See, like this. So this is our color which we are going to use to glow that edge area only. So just put null object here, just out. Okay, so almost we are at the end of this. So we have made bus and this instance. Again, be careful with this, because it takes very long time to simulate and very intense, and sometimes you run out of memory or anything. So careful with these values. You can, if you have like higher values, be cache out all these numbers, otherwise it will be very difficult. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to just add some lights and just put on these color values. Okay, so let me just add a simple material node, and I'm going to make a simple material for this, like V-Ray material, and we need to use that color which we have made for this. So we are going to use V-Ray, and which is user color, this one. If we are using mantra or anything, it has similar kind of properties, which has user attribute or color attribute, something like this. You can use that, and in here just plug this into this self illumination channel, which is your color attribute. So if I put 3 here, and if I apply this material to our bus, so if I go here like this, and again we save this and show some render settings, and just go for my graphic card, so it will render this a little bit faster. And just create one camera. If we come here and render this, so be patient with this because it will take time. So in my case, I have used very higher values for the particles, so that the mesh deleting part will be much more smoother. And I have used also some different values also. Okay, and let me just adjust some values here because it's not rendering properly, and we need to apply some material to these also. So let me just add this to our character, and one for our petal, which is red color. And you can apply directly to this, it will keep this color, or you can apply in this instance section, it has also render material, you can apply here also. It's up to you where you want to apply. And if I again render this, now you can see it's like coming its color, which is white color. And if you want like yellow, orange, anything a different color, you can always mix this color to whichever color you want. You can use V-Ray color. If you like right click, just choose for color, and you can find V-Ray color. It's a simple color that you just put here, whichever color you want, and just multiply these two numbers. So if you go to V-Ray utility, and there is like comp this one, can these two, just combine these two, and in here operator just use multiply. Now it will multiply this color to this. So if I use a simple grid, we just apply this character material. Okay, now you can see it will have that yellow color. And in that shot you can find that there is some pattern over this glowing part, some designs or some markings like in Eternal movie. So you can also do that. For that, what you need to do, you need to add some attributes here. First of all, you need to add a UV attribute. Okay, so this doesn't have UV attribute right now, so we need to add like UV attribute. UV, I think I have used unwrapped version, and spacing I think I used 0, and in material I have mixed some material here. So I think in my scenario I have used a pattern, which is, you can find anything, any pattern you want. I think in my case I think I have used this pattern, and in colors I have inverted this, and I have multiplied this to this, whatever it's coming here. So again, if I use again this, and if I like take this, now if I am correct, it will have some pattern on that, this area. Or maybe we have like very different result. So again, if your object is unwrapped, it will not be an issue. If it's not unwrapped, then it will be an issue. So make sure, yeah, like something like this pattern. Now it's coming like all over the places. So we need to change some order here. So we need to find these glow pattern only in this region. So for that, what we need to do, we need to, okay, this is for color and this is our user color. So I think we need to multiply this to here, and this section we need to apply this to here, and I think here, I think it will come right. So you can adjust this. Yeah, something like this. Now it's seeing like all over the place. Now it's multiplied with the color. Now we need to just do this in right order. So we are somewhat close to that. Just a little steps which is needed. So first of all, this mix is like not working. So again, it has like one more setting here, which is called in V-Ray utility section. You can find this is blend or combine color. You can use this also. This is V-Ray comp. You can use this also. Okay, not just by using multiply, you can use different also. I think I used mix here. V-Ray mix. I think I used this one to mix this. Okay, so this one, and this one, and this one. Now if you look here, it has like mix amount, and if I lower this, okay, again it's not coming. Okay, let me just check my network one more time. I think I have using misplaced results, so just do one by one. So if you are checking for this, you can always disable these particles, these flower particles, so it will be much more faster. Okay, there is some issue here. You can see these are like working, but it's not coming as I have want. Okay, this is on add mode. We need to do this for multiply. So always check your notes. That's why it's not coming in first. Okay, multiply will do like multiply white with white and black with black. So in black area it will cancel out all these white values. Okay, now you can see it's coming in only specific area which is I have used. Now we need to put color here, so just use this mix, or you can use like again same which I have used earlier, which is comp, this one. Okay, so it's like color one, and again this, and just multiply here, and just go to this for multiply. Okay, now I think it will come properly. Now that yellow or orange color will multiply to only this white area, so that you can find your original color. You can choose any colors. Okay, now you can see, you can find your colors. So it will have some patterns and glow and some petals. So I think it's complete. You can tweak according to your settings, according to your file. I think I have included all the necessary steps which is I have used. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and the previous tutorial which I wanted to release, it's getting very long time to render, so it will be out in some days. It's still in rendering process, so keeps on watching this. So goodbye, and we will see you in next time.